Here we go then. It is Championship playoff semi-finals. For the third year in a row, we have made the playoffs. Can we go at least one better than last year and make the final? But is this the time we finally get AFC Rushden and Diamonds to the Premier League? Let's get into these semi-finals today and let's find out. Welcome back to Dog Turds into Diamonds, here with AFC Rushden and Diamonds. It is the end of our third season in the Championship. For the third season in a row, we have qualified for the playoffs. And although last season we finished third and really only missed out on automatic promotion due to our FA Cup run getting to the semi-finals, we didn't have the squad to cope with it. But to be honest, I do feel like it's kind of an achievement that we've made it again this season. We lost in the summer. We lost 5 key players. We lost around about 70 goals from the forward line. We lost our captain. We lost our best centre-back. It really was a rebuilding job for this season. And, well, after a slow first half of the season, we've recovered. Although we haven't been consistent all year, we've recovered pretty well. And I'm pleased that we have got to the playoffs. But you know what? Derby County have got to be the big favourites, even though they've had a terrible second half of the season. They were the runaway leaders in the table for so long, and now they only managed to get third. So hopefully they are going to be taking that bad form into the playoffs, and they may not be the massively superior team that maybe they were earlier in the season, although they have just beaten Portsmouth in the away leg of their semi-final. Yes, Portsmouth got in on the final day. Reading and Leicester missed out. Middlesbrough finished 3 points behind the playoff spots. And Portsmouth, who had been in and around there but hadn't really been pushing for it, just like Nottingham Forest on the last day of last season. I don't think I ever mentioned that Nottingham Forest ended up winning it all, although I think they are coming straight back down from the Premier League. Portsmouth have snuck in on the last day, but they were beaten 2-1 at home in the first leg of their semi-final against Derby, and we take on Bristol City. Now, although they have finished 4 points above us, we do have a better goal difference, and we have beaten them twice in the league. We beat them 4-0 on the opening day, and we beat them 3-0 away. So we are kind of their hoodoo team. We have beaten them on the last 5 meetings. We should be confident going into this. Of course, when you were last here, we beat Blackburn 3-1 to guarantee our place in the playoffs. We then played Sunderland away and lost 1-0 on the last game of the season. But you know what? I'm not going to panic about it, because we actually played really well. Look at those stats. We dominated the game. We had a 0.51 XG and we failed to score. We missed a hatful of chances in the first half. The second half we weren't quite as good, but we were still far the better team. Lalafi was terrible. Jose Santos was pretty poor. Weston Spence in midfield had a disappointing game. Marti in goal. Sanisalo has just come back into training. I'm really wondering if I need to put Viljami Sanisalo in goal again for the playoffs. But we played really well. We had all the possession, good passing. We created lots of chances. Unfortunately, we only had 5 on target, which is kind of perhaps the story as to why we didn't win the game. But it was a really good performance. I can't be too down about it. So let's take a little look here at the top scorers in the Championship. Let's have a look. So the leading goal scorers, Salah Lalafi is top of the goal scoring charts after his, did he get 2 against Blackburn? He has finished top scorer in the Championship in his first season. That is absolutely fantastic. In our 3 seasons in the Championship, we've had the top scorer twice and the second top scorer once. So that is really pleasing to see. Omar Shakur, he was running away with it at one point. I think he's finished well down, and Trevor Fonseca of Brentford tailed off at the end of the season as well. So really pleased for Salah Lalafi. Before we get into the first of these games against Bristol City, I do want to just quickly show you the youth intake we had. It was a decent youth intake without being a brilliant youth intake. Although we may have just had our best ever player coming through from the academy. Now, Felix Little was last season. He is rated as a 4-star potential player, and we've now got Graham Goodliffe, a 15-year-old striker or left winger. With his lack of finishing, I think he might end up being more of a winger. But at 15, he looks pretty good. Good off the ball, very determined and aggressive, professional personality. He's got good pace, and he's very, very good at dribbling, decent at passing, good at taking free kicks. We'll keep an eye on him. Hopefully, he will prove to be the best of our short history. Luca Bissoni is another one who's just come in, an attacking right midfielder. Decent dribbling, first touch. Mentally looks very, very good for a 16-year-old, and physically not bad either. So there's 2 decent prospects come through there. We did actually give contracts to 5 players in the end. Darren Burton, he is 15. He has just come in, a young striker, although again looks like he may end up being a bit more of a winger unless he can improve that finishing. Not very good mentally, but physically and technically doesn't look too bad. And he's at 15, he's got loads of time to improve. Who else did we offer a contract to? I think Joseph Iso was one of the new intakes as well. Central midfielder, again, doesn't look too bad. Decent tackling, first touch, passing, although they do all need to improve. Takes a good free kick. Not very good physically right now, and mentally a lot to develop there as well. But again, we'll keep an eye on him. We haven't had that wonderful prospect come through, but it does seem to be improving. We have to say that. Georgios Iono, I think I've said that sort of okay. Cypriot goalkeeper, again, looks like he's got a bit about him with his handling, his kicking, his reflexes are decent. Things to improve, but again, it's just sort of every season it's slowly improving just a little bit. And of course, we've got here Dario Rojak, who's out on loan. The young, is he Serbian? Yes, he is. He's got 6 in 13 at Karabag. I hope he'll get a work permit for next season. Developing nicely there, the 18-year-old. And David Fanning, I've still got to decide if I give him a new contract. He's done pretty well on loan, but it is only the Isthmian League. So, yeah, I don't know. I might have to let him go, but he's had a good season at Margate. So that's the youth team, and there are also a couple of transfers to tell you about. I've confirmed a couple of players to come in for next season. Let's just change it to status here. So first of all, I'm going to show you Ben Holden. He's a midfielder at Burton Albion, 28-year-old Australian. Look at that. He looks like just what we are lacking. Technically, he's sort of limited in most areas, but he has got an amazing first touch, brilliant passing, which should make him a very good deep-line playmaker, I hope. We have struggled this year without a really good passer in the team, with Alex Baker leaving us. And I really like that Ben Holden has got that passing ability and good technique. But mentally, he's very, very good as well. His composure is very good for the Championship. His decisions are great. His teamwork is great. His vision is very good. I think physically he doesn't look too bad. I think he just looks a good all-round midfielder who can hopefully give us a new dynamic next season. So he's coming in for a bit less than $500,000. And we've also agreed to sign Andy Harrison, 23-year-old defender from Newcastle. You may remember we were toying with the idea of bringing him in on loan this season, and I decided against it. But as he's out of contract at Newcastle in the season, I put down the 25 grand to get him, and I think he's going to be a decent squad player. He's not exceptional, but as a squad player, I think he can be very, very good. If we compare him to, for example, where is Nolan? Brian Nolan. Yeah, he looks better than Brian Nolan, and Brian Nolan has played a lot of football this season. They're the same technically, he's better mentally, and he is much better physically than Brian Nolan. So as a player to give us squad depth, I think it's a very, very good signing. Of course, we might not be in the Championship next season, and then he would definitely not be good enough. But I'm going with it at the moment. Hermes Rodriguez is obviously our loanee from Manchester City. I would love to get him again, but we've been paying 150,000 a month for him since he came in. I did it because I was just desperate, but we've been losing money hand over fist. I can't pay that out again. But he's available for 7.5 million. Again, maybe if we get promotion, I've got that money to spend. I might make that deal permanent. But at the moment, his loan will finish at the end of this season, and I've put a bid in 250,000 for Sunderland's Amar Dill. He's played 15 games in the Championship this season. He is a very, very solid goalkeeper, the 26-year-old Englishman. Really good jumping reach at 6'4". He's very determined. He's just very, very solid. Great one-on-ones, decent reflexes, decent handling. His kicking and throwing is good. And if we compare him, for example, to the possible starter today, Eka Marti, he is much better technically. They're the same mentally, and he is better physically. So he's just an all-round improvement on the goalkeepers that we've got. So if we can get him for 250,000, I'm going to be absolutely delighted with that. So that's basically what's going on. I'm pleased to get those players in for next season, but none of them are really Premier League quality. So that kind of tells you where my head is. I'm kind of expecting to not get into the Premier League, but who knows? We've only got to win 3 more games, or perhaps not even that. We just have to win 1 game in the semi-final big, and then get it done in the final. Let's try and be confident, even if it does seem like I'm planning for next season in the Championship. You can see, by the way, Norwich and Blackburn have been promoted. So Marco Silva, after leaving Blackburn, is missing out on going back to the Premier League. And Norwich have ended up as champions. Amazing stuff, throwing Derby into the playoffs. Now, Bristol City, I thought they weren't going to be as good as last season. They had some brilliant loans last season. And I thought with not having those players this season, they would struggle. But they have been very, very good. Diego Zamora, I am not expecting him to be a goal threat. He is yet to score in 29 games this season, and he's going to play striker against us here. He does look like a very good number 10 though. I'm going to scout him. So do we have to worry too much about him? Peter Doige is a player who's been on my radar for a long time. He's on my shortlist. Just his value is a bit too much for us. He's a decent winger, but he's not incredible. John Brewer on the left wing. Again, looks like a good left winger without being anything next level. And number 10, is that Bergzorg? Again, looks a decent midfielder, Wesley Bergzorg, without being next level. They pay him 42 grand a week. Yeah, he looks decent without being absolutely incredible. Then Lewis Bates, who I remember has scored against us before, decent deep line playmaker for this level. And Brady has also been on my shortlist for a long time. Very, very good passer of the ball. Is he better than the Australian lad that we've got coming in? I don't know if he is. I think we should be confident going into this game. Just with our record against Bristol City and the way we've played the last couple of games, even though we lost against Sunderland, we did play really well. Now, Sanisalo, is he fit enough to start? He's literally just come back to training. I'm not going to risk him. I might put him in for the away leg, depending on how Eka Marti does here. He is wanted by West Bromwich. I think I will be looking to sell him in the summer, but he is goalkeeper today. Igor Louise right back, Dylan Jones left back, and on a booking I'm worried that if he gets that booking, he could get a 3-game ban, which would obviously knock him out of the final. So if he doesn't get booked today and he does well and we have a good result, I might rest him for the second leg. Apaya and Rodriguez, the centre-back options, both with a 7.11 rating this season. Preets continues as the box-to-box midfielder with Callum Parkin being injured, and he's partnered by Weston Spence, who was maybe dropped off a little bit in the second half of the season. Anthony Johnson right wing, Mavididi left wing, Jose Santos will play the number 10 role. I am going to play him as an advanced playmaker once we get into the next screen. And Salah Lalafi, the Championship's top scorer, is up top. Hopefully, he has been inconsistent at times this season. Hopefully, we can turn it on for the next 3 games. Sabe and Ignacio Rodriguez on the bench. They're the defensive options. Roland and Stefan are midfield options. Jack Evans, right winger. Guante, left winger or striker. And Peter Finnan, the Fulham striker, has now confirmed he's going to stay with us on loan next season. So Sanisalo doesn't make it. Edwards is left out. Parkin is still 4 days away. Hopefully we can have him on the bench for the second leg. Bailey, Cloak, Moreno not in. Nolan not in. Porter not in. Hogan, Gomez and Allen not in, along with Darius Dotse. Now, I would have liked to have played Darius Dotse more, but I can only have 5 loanees in for each game. So that is the way we're going to set ourselves up. Let's hope the boys can turn it on. Let's hope they can give a similar performance to the Sunderland game and score the goals the way they have done against Bristol City in the past. We have got to be thought of as their hoodoo team. They must be worried about playing us. Let's see if we can get this job done here. Right, let's go. Let's do this. No messing around. Let's be confident. Let's be confident. Right, they've won 3 of their last 5 league games. The fans are up for this match. The players never react to the fans being up for it. Right, I want you to leave your mark here. I'm going with that, and no one reacts. So, yeah, obviously that wasn't a great decision. Let's see if we can get a decent amount of motivation. No, only Jose Santos and Hermes Rodriguez not really reacting. Let's get Johnson on the left back, Mavididi on the right back, and we are ready to go here. Just change up Jose Santos's role as well. Let's make him the advanced playmaker on support to start with, and let's see if the young Portuguese can turn it on. What's the secret behind your good home record? Yeah, we're nothing without our fans. Do you hope your team can produce today? Come on, if we play to the levels we're capable of, we'll be fine. Come on. How's that for inconsistency? Drawn 1, lost 1, lost. We've got to turn that around today, haven't we? Bristol City, oh my goodness, yeah. They've lost their last game of the season, but they did win 3 on the bounce before that. But come on, we're their bogey team. We're their bogey team. Let's just focus on that. Come on, boys. Don't do what we did last season when we lost 5-1 away at Nottingham Forest in the playoff semi-final. First chance of the game goes to Bristol City. They've had a couple of shots already. We have had nothing. And they've now got a corner. They've really come out of the blocks fired up, it looks like. And this one, the corner is away, and we intercept there with Weston Spence, and that is a horrific pass, and this is going to end up with a Bristol City chance, isn't it? Oh my word. Brewer and Zamora. Oh, what do I do here? What do I do? We just haven't been able to get any consistency going all season long. And we've been absolutely torn apart. And Igor Luiz is absolutely sleeping there, as are the 2 centre-backs. The 2 centre-backs are holding hands in the area while Zamora gets free and knocks it in. I'm going to demand more. And can we finally get ourselves into this game? I'm going to hold off making changes to the tactics for the moment. I want to see if we can get a foothold in the game. And here's Santos again. We really need him to step up as the playmaker. And he's getting involved a lot there, but very deep, not in areas where he might be able to do damage. And look at this, we've got no options to play out. Preets now does get it into Mavididi. Lalafi back to Preets. Can we get this ball in from Igor Luiz now? Igor Luiz to cross. He doesn't. Anthony Johnson doesn't either. Luiz does finally. Mavididi heads it down, and Salah Lalafi has his 27th of the season. 26th championship goal of the season. And we needed that, didn't we? We absolutely needed that after a horrific start to this game. Nice head down from Mavididi, and Lalafi knocks it in. Brilliant stuff. He's been great through the second half of the season, Salah Lalafi. And can we now build on this? They are still well up on the chances, but can we create something more? Do I play a little bit quicker? I think I might have to, as they now get another highlight. It's crossed in, headed away, but only out to Jenkins. And they are still threatening on the edge of the box. Will Brady shoot? He won't. We intercept it and then give it away straight away again. Well done, Mavididi, tracking back. Can this turn into something for us? Salah Lalafi turns his man. Is this going to finish in a chance for us? Santos into Mavididi, and he's missed from close range. What a great opportunity that was. Oh my goodness. We've got to take those chances. We have not been good enough. I'm going to have to make changes at half time, I think. But at least we have had a couple of decent chances on the highlights. A couple of late shots there as well to make the stats look a little bit better. We are better in terms of possession and completed passes. Do I persevere with the tactics as they are right now? What is Ollie suggesting? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's going on about the fans again. Right, go on, I'll go with you. Look, I knew no one was going to react. Ole, come on. Let's get everybody up for it here. Let's hope for a really top performance in the second half. Can we turn this around? Do I go more positive? Do I go more positive here, or do I just stick with it? Do I play the long game? We've got a highlight. Santos finds Anthony Johnson. He can't get it in, and they are going to break, but only as far as a pyre. And we get the ball back into their half. Santos into Lalafi. Johnson finds him again, and we're 2-1 up. Salah Lalafi looking unstoppable. What a second half of the season he's had. Fantastic stuff from the Moroccan. He has trained with the Moroccan squad, but he is yet to be capped by their full team. But he has got to be looking to get that first international cap very soon. The way he's torn it up the second half of this season has been phenomenal. And we've now got a free kick, even as Bristol City continue to have more shots than us. Preets back to Mavididi, cross it in, and Lalafi is denied his hat-trick. A good close-range save by the keeper there. But we've got the corner now. Mavididi puts it in. Nothing comes of it. And can we now just really take charge for the rest of this game? I would love another goal just to send us off to the second leg. What changes should I make here? I'm gonna make a couple of changes. Rodriguez is looking pretty tired. We've only got, I think we have 3 days rest. Cedric Preets on a booking. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring Cedric Preets off, and I'm going to bring Josh Stefan on. Now I'm going to make Stefan the Trecatista in the number 10 role, and I'm going to make Santos. I mean, he can play box-to-box midfielder, but I'm going to make him... I think I'm going to make him... do I make him the Messala or a roaming playmaker? I'm going to make him a roaming playmaker, that role that Alex Baker played. I'm going to see if he can get involved a bit deeper, and then if Josh Stefan can just give us a bit of movement up top to maybe create another chance. There you go. Praise the players again. 10 minutes to go. Now, Mavididi is very tired as well. Do you know what? Last 6 minutes. Mavididi off. Guante has just come back into full training after a fairly serious injury, a fairly long-term injury. I'm going to bring him on just to get a few minutes here with it, get his fitness, and we're just going to look to time waste the rest of the game. Shoot on sight as well, and in transition we are just going to hold shape and slow things down. What do I want to change anything out of possession? I'll just knock down the line of engagement a little bit. So let's you know, I wish I actually remembered about Guante a little bit earlier and given him a little bit longer to really try and improve his fitness ahead of the second leg, because he's a player that can score a goal. He could be important in the hopefully the next 2 games of these playoffs. But we are, it looks like, going to get the win here and take that advantage to Bristol. That's a decent result. Maybe not exactly what I wanted. I would have liked to have been a little bit more comfortable going into the second leg, but we have finished with the better XG. We finished with more shots at goal, and all in all, that's a decent performance. Nice to see Salah Lalafi when it really matters getting into it there. There you go. Big up the players. Try and get the morale up for the second leg. Bristol City have now, of course, have lost back-to-back games, so that hopefully bodes well going into that second leg. We won 3-0 away there last time. Can we wrap up another win there and get ourselves to Wembley for the playoff final? I will see you when we come to that game. Quickly, before we get into the second leg of the playoffs, Amar Dil has agreed a contract, just £6,000 a week. That seems like an absolute bargain. So the Sunderland goalkeeper coming into us for next season, he will be our new first choice goalkeeper. He is going to be a big step up, big improvement on Viljami Sanisalo and Ika Marti. Really pleased to get that confirmed. Well, a little bit of good news before we go on to the second leg against Bristol City. Let's do it. Right, this is it then. Bristol City away to play either Derby or Portsmouth at Wembley in the Championship playoff final. We've got the advantage. We have now just got to get the job done. Oh. Well, it looks like Bristol City are playing just about the same lineup. I have made a change, which I'm going to show to you now. Sanisalo is going to start in goal. He's had a bit of an injury, but he was first choice when he got injured. And if we just look at Ika Marti, I'm just not convinced. Look at his last 5 games. A 6.7 rating and 8 goals conceded. He can't keep a clean sheet for love nor money. I bought him in with the idea that he would be first choice, but he's conceded 30 in 20 games in the league this season. Yeah, he hasn't set the world alight, has he? Yeah, it's got to be done. If West Brom want him in the summer, I'm more than happy to let him go, especially now we've got a new goalkeeper confirmed. Now, Sanisalo is a risk. He is still not fully fit, obviously. He hasn't been able to play since he restarted training, so we're throwing him straight into the fire, but he's got a 7.2 rating this season. Igor Luiz and Dylan Jones will be the fullbacks, Apaya and Rodriguez the centre-backs, basically the same team as the first leg. Preetz and Weston Spence are in midfield. Weston Spence has now developed a passing point. He has now got 15 passing and 15 vision. I'm delighted with that. Absolutely brilliant improvement from the now 19-year-old this season. I just don't want to lose him in the summer. He's got that 16 million release clause, and some big clubs are interested, including Antonio Conte's West Ham. Antonio Conte has been to watch him. I hope we can get to the Premier League and ward off that interest. Anthony Johnson is on the right wing. Jose Santos will continue at number 10. Or do I change him up because he's a little bit tired, look. Callum Parkin has just restarted training. You can see He is nowhere near fit. He cannot play. I think I am going to change up Jose Santos. Do you know what? Would it be crazy to stick Jack Evans in? I mean, he's been in and out of the team all season. Would that just be an absolutely ridiculous move? Do you know what? I'm going to go Josh Steffen. We're going to go Josh Steffen at number 10, just from a fitness point of view. Mavididi on the left, Lalafi up front. Hopefully he can do the same job again. Sabe and Rodriguez, the defensive options on the bench. Lots of players on the bench not fit enough. Parkin and Jose Santos, Jack Evans, Guante and Peter Finnan. We have got lots of attacking players there if we need a goal. Hopefully that will not be necessary. So let's do this. Let's get that team put in. Let's get into this game and let's not have a meltdown like we did in the playoffs last season at Nottingham Forest. Let's get this job done. I was also considering going back to the defensive midfielder, dropping the number 10 for this game and playing a defensive midfielder. I might still do that depending how things are going. In the second half, we might, for example, be able to bring on Parkin as the box-to-box midfielder and then just make Preetz a defensive midfielder. We'll see what happens there. But we've handled them once, and we've handled them twice more during the season. Can we just do it one more time? Let's go. Carry on your performance in today's game. We'll reach the final. Come on, boys. Let's be confident. Everybody is up for it. Let's see here if we can just pull one more big performance out to get us to that Wembley final. And hopefully the next episode, rather than being an end of season review, will be that final. I'm going to make Stefan the Trecatista. I really want to try and make the Trecatista role work. I really liked it with Mario Cacchiao. He played it so well. It just creates so many spaces for other players. I really want to see if I can get it going again with one of these guys that we've got there now. Let's have a look. You need a win here against Bristol City to keep your promotion bid alive. Have you picked the right team? I'm very confident. Come on. First goal's crucial. Yeah. Scoring first matters to us. There we go. So they have now lost back to back. Can we make it 3 defeats in a row? And can we also make it here? Here we go. A nice little red-green little collage there. 1 lost, 1 lost, 1. Can we just break the cycle and get that win that we need here? To be fair, I'd be happy with a draw, wouldn't I? But let's try and do it in style. Let's try and not give me a heart attack on the way. Let's try and put it beyond doubt today. Mavididi and Weston Spence combining early. Get Jones in on the overlap. And Lalafi, was that off the post? What a start that would have been, just to give us a 2-goal advantage. So a good start. And as Bristol City were probably the better team for a large portion of the game against us, we have started strongly against them at their ground here. A full house as Stefan finds Johnson, but nobody can find the space for a shot right now. Will Igor Luiz get a cross in? No, he's lost it. And don't you dare let this end in a good highlight for them. Oh no, Bergzorg. He's missed it. We've been let off. The Dutchman missing a great opportunity to tie this game up. And we are still ahead on the aggregate score. And we are looking pretty good, you have to say. 60% possession, 4 shots to their 2. We've just got to keep it going, but they've got another highlight and they're creeping into the game now, as we did, of course, in the first leg. And Bergzorg is in again. And this time there's no messing about. He's scored with their first shot on target. It's all tied. It's 2-2. Penalties are a possibility here, right? There's no away goals. There's no away goals, and it's not decided by who finished higher, right? I should have checked that before we started. Come on. Come on, I'm going to encourage them. We've got a highlight here. Was it the right choice to start with Sanisalo today in goal? I was just thinking that if we do make it to the final, I want him to have had a game. I want him to be fit. And we've lost the ball again. And Bergsorg is everywhere for them here. And we are now starting to look like the team that's up against it. But Stefan gets in there after the ball was won. And it's into Anthony Johnson. It's blasted straight at the keeper. Anthony Johnson, he's not had a great season in terms of goals. Second top scorer in the Championship last season. He hasn't been able to recapture that form. But we're in it. We're in this game. And Weston Spence out to Mavididi. The highlight ends. We are still the better team. We've had more possession. We've had more shots. We've got a better XG. We've just got to take one of these chances. But they've got a highlight now. And this is starting to look worrying. Bergsorg again, he's everywhere. It's with us on the edge of the box. Can we get out with it now? No, we can't, but Stefan grabs it there. And he's messed up with a horrible pass from Mavididi. A horrible, horrible pass, and now they're in, and they've hit the post. Both teams have now hit the post, and we are living dangerously. I'm going to tell the players that that is not good enough. I'm going to keep it as it is right now, but Stefan is having an awful game in the number 10 role. The question is, do I go with a defensive midfielder or do I just bring Jose Santos in at number 10? We've got to do better. We've only had a couple of attacking highlights. I'm going to encourage the players, see if they respond to that. They do. I mean, we are still the better team statistically, but they now have a much better XG than us. Right, time for changes. I'm going to make two changes here. Preetz is very tired in the midfield. I'm going to bring Cedric Preetz off and Callum Parkin is going to get on. And Jose Santos is going to come on in the number 10 role. I'm not going to leave him as a Trecatista. I'm going to make him the advanced playmaker. And let's see if with those two changes we can cause some new problems for Bristol City. Because right now they look the team more likely to take the lead in this tie. They are now the better team. They've had more shots on target. They now get another highlight. They are starting to look good here as Nappen runs through and puts it over. What other changes can I make here as well? We're going to play with a little bit more pace. We're going to look to shoot on target. Do I pass into space to try and use Lalafi's pace? We're going to counter when we win the ball. And I think it's time to get stuck in. And I'm going to go a little bit narrower as well. Let's see if those changes help us. Let's encourage the players again. We really need to change things here because we have not been good enough in the second half. We've started to get some really tired legs out there as we reach 90 minutes. Do I time waste or not as they get a late highlight? Please don't let this be the deciding highlight in the game. They are going to get it forward. It's into Dolan and it's off the bar. That is unbelievable. We have been lucky here. They have dominated the second half. They really have. But we have now got a late highlight. Is there something in it for us here? Our first highlight of the second half. Lalafi. And we've done it. It's Anthony Johnson, who I've criticised throughout. He has equalised right at the death. And he's putting us into the Wembley final. Unbelievable. Was that Parkin knocked it down? Lalafi set him up. And let's pause and get all on time wasting for injury time here. Unbelievable. I'm going to take Anthony Johnson off as well. He's very tired. Jack Evans will come on. Now, let's just full on time waste. Well, full on time waste. Be disciplined. In transition, we are holding shape, slowing everything down. And out of possession, we are just going to knock back that line of engagement. Let's hope now the boys can hold on and get to Wembley. What a finish. I criticised Anthony Johnson's lack of goals this season, and he has come up with the most important goal of the season, and now Evans hits the post. Oh, he could have just made sure of it there. Can we make sure of it with this corner? We're well over the 2 minutes of injury time. It's got to be job done, surely. Callum Parkin to take the corner. It's headed away, and that is it. We are at Wembley again for the 4th time in our history for the Championship playoff final. What a finish to the game. Well done. Congratulations on reaching the final, boys. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to give a little bit of individual praise to Anthony Johnson for the winning goal. Wonderful stuff. We are in the Wembley final. Let's just have a quick look and see who we're going to be meeting there. And the next episode will indeed be that Wembley final, I would imagine, against Derby County. Let's just have a look. Unbelievable. Portsmouth have beaten Derby 3-0 away from home in their playoff semi-final. We are taking on the 6th place team in the Championship at Wembley. No red cards here. Portsmouth were just clinical look with a 2.21 XG. They took their chances. Derby didn't, and they turned around a 2-1 deficit from the first leg. Now, on the one hand, I'm kind of pleased not to be facing Derby, but on the other hand, we did lose to Portsmouth last time we played them in a very disappointing display. They dominated us, and I think it's going to be a really tough game, but it was going to be a tough game either way. Now, is it good to be facing the 6th place team rather than the team that finished 3rd? I don't know. But this is shades of last season when Nottingham Forest did the same. They snuck into the playoffs right at the end and ended up getting promotion to the Premier League. So hopefully that is not going to happen again. We are meeting Portsmouth at Wembley. That is the next episode. If you've enjoyed this episode, drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you for the next one at Wembley. Bye for now.